I'll start with a quick introduction about me first. So I run a company which is deep tech centric accelerator and backed by a very strong community. Uh, that's what I do, support startups in early days, early stage across not just on the investment side, but also on the uh, doing the early POCs, market access and all that. Similarly, I will expect all of my panelists to get onto that introduction. Interestingly, we have a great panel. We have VCs, we have people who are doing it on the ground. We have people from the enabling ecosystem, including me. So yeah, let's start with Girish.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Girish Shivani. I'm one of the managing partners at Your Nest Venture Capital. We are a deep tech fund, early stage, check sizes between 8 and 12 crores to start with. Currently deploying from the third fund, which is a 500 crore vehicle. We do primarily first round of institutional capital into an early stage deep tech IP-led startup focused on building B2B products out of India for the world.
I want to say ditto. My name is Ashish. I run GrowX Ventures. We're also in B2B deep tech focused early stage fund. We deploy across two stages. One is seed stage, the other is Series B. Have a preference for founders or companies working on the deeper end of technology. Think areas like space, robotics, semiconductors, defense now, and multiple similar themes. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Nitin Sethi. We've just launched a venture studio. I'm gonna ask both of these gentlemen for some money now. Previously, I've done Adani Digital Labs as their founding CEO and Indigo as their digital founder. 25 years in startup ecosystem.
Hi everyone, my name is Harshdeep Singh and I'm representing AWE Funds today. We are an early stage venture capital fund, usually invest during the Series A and pre-Series A stage. Check sizes around 4 to 5 crores for the initial one, and then try to follow it up if the appetite is more, up to 20 crores. When it comes to sectors like deep tech, we would take a lower bet. Depending on our risk appetite, we would go as low as 1 crore to get into the cap table. We invest at the cusp of technology and real-world impact across health, across climate tech, health tech, and selectively fintech.
Hi, my name is Tanul Mishra, and I'm founder and CEO of Aphthonia Labs. We're a fintech-focused incubator. We come in at different stages. Sometimes if you're a super kick-ass founder, then we come in even at idea stage. And we onboard through the year. The whole idea is to go narrow and deep in fintech, so no niches there. So if it's lending, payments, inheritance management, B2B, subsidies, we focus on everything.
Thank you, people. So Nitin, I want to start with you because I see a lot of. I'm sure beyond the founders, there are, because we are sitting in an academic campus, so there would be people who are in their academics and maybe looking for doing something of their own. So people would have easily, frequently people are hearing about incubators, accelerators, then funds and all that. But what is Venture Studio? Can you help them understand where do you fit into the overall life cycle of the idea?
You can, from an analogy perspective, you can imagine it like a digital factory, idea factory. So the Venture Studio works on 3 parts. One, of course, capability building. Let's say there's a legacy business. We help businesses build the capability on the talent, on the blueprinting, and of course, build and ship. Either you build and maintain or you build and ship. Second, of course, Series A onwards or SME on their growth hacking till the IPO journey. And then, of course, the third one is IP creation, what the ma'am just mentioned. So that team we have is basically travel focus. We have done largest OTA, largest airports, largest airline. So we will gonna touch the B2B space. So interestingly, there are 7 travel players. All 7 players are milking money. All are highly profitable. Everyone have, so very specific, area. So there are venture studios which are across categories, and there are venture studios which are very specific. So a digital factory which, let's say, produce ACs, so a specific part for a category.
So which means you're more of a co-founder.
We are co-creator. So let's
Yes.
say a venture studio will own a piece, the entrepreneur in residence, founding CEO will own a piece, and of course a strategic partner like them will own a piece. So you three parties co-create something for a market with much deeper understanding and execution.
Thank you, Nitin. So now moving on to Girish and Ashish, to both of you. Emerging technologies slash deep tech is one of the most jazzy word these days. How challenging it is for you as a VC to address these technologies, and then comes the founders, because I know that and we also operate a lot with the similar founders. The body language of a deep tech founder is very different from any other. Quote unquote, but that's what my experience is, and your take on this.
So I think at the stage at which we come in, it is more about the founder. Technology is at best a differentiator, if not an enabler. But if you in this room were to take a poll and ask what is deep tech, you might get 50 different answers. It is very important to internalize what you yourself mean by deep tech. In our parlance, deep tech has two legs. One is this entire hardware leg around sensors, wearables, robotics, industrial IoT, semiconductors, etc. And then on the software side, cutting edge technologies like genomics, artificial intelligence, digital distributed ledger technologies, etc. And as long as it's an amalgamation of one or more of these core technologies, we are happy to look at it. But to do that, internally, out of the 4 general partners and 4 venture partners that we have, 2 general partners and 2 venture partners are basically technology people, which means we were operators, we were builders. One of my partners is a gentleman called Dr. Vivek Mansingh, who has 6 patents to his name, published 100+ research papers, worked with, sold to hardware companies in the Valley, so that kind of pedigree. One of my venture partners, Ranjit Shetty, is a practicing CTO who's working very closely with artificial intelligence and DLT and stuff like that. So therefore, for us to, once the founder is kind of passes the muster, then the next thing that you look at is what is the kind of product, what is the intellectual property he's creating, what is the moat he's creating around it. And once that is done, that kind of moves the needle for us. So to understand the founder and the product and how it is differentiated become the keystone of any decision that we would take.
Ashish, I don't want to hear ditto from you this time.
I think, let me just start with saying that, like Girish mentioned, the definition of deep tech varies from person to person, individual to individual you speak with, even firm to firm, right? Even within firms, the definition has evolved over a period of time. So when we started investing, B2B has been a focus area for the longest time, maybe now 8-9 years. And at that point of time, we used to say that we're looking for founders building proprietary tech, which essentially means that they're generating IP, which also means, therefore, that only a handful of people are working on this kind of a tech. And we were, at that point of time, agnostic between hardware and software. Yeah. A couple of years later, I kind of realized that, that definitely works, but obviously there's more to it. And what opened my perspective, I'll tell you a story. I was in Israel. Israel is where, this really cutting edge tech which happens, right? So this is my day 1, hour 1, first 10 minutes, talking to investors, entrepreneurs. And I'm introducing GrowX, and we're saying we do deep tech. And then I just started talking to people. I very quickly realized that our definition of deep tech can't even be considered as shallow tech. I was getting excited in 2016 when I invested in a drones company. And at that point of time, or 2017, they're saying drones great, but look at what we built. I said, what is this? This is counter drone, perimeter control. What if drones are attacking? And I said, we've not even started working on drones. What are you talking about protecting your lay of the land, right? And over the years, therefore, our definition has changed, right? And To your point, is the body language different? Is the deep tech founder different? Absolutely, it is. Because what we've learned over a period of time, these people are far more ambitious, far more bold, and far more passionate to kind of solve for a particular problem in a very different way. These are, true missionaries. If you were to put missionary and mercenary as two founder profiles at a broad level, these are true missionaries who kind of excited about as to how, if they solve for this, the world will be better tomorrow, right? And that trait comes out very, very clearly. They aren't transactional, yeah? And, sometimes they may not even have a roadmap that, this first year, this is what's going to happen. Second year, this is what's going to happen. They're saying we'll see as to how it is, but deep inside, they know they can solve for it, right? So we made a very recent investment in a company called Armory, counter drones. Finally, we did that last year. And I'm sitting with the founder, and I said, there are so many established public sector companies, listed companies, large behemoths, they're doing it. They've not been able to do it, what you're saying, you will do it. Aap kaise kar loge? Kehta, main kar lunga. In such a relaxed sort of a way he said that. And that kind of gave you the sense of confidence. It wasn't arrogance, right? It was confidence and it was belief in yourself. So you were self-aware. Therefore, that, yes, we can build this. I may not have done this before, but my mind is tuned to kind of solving for that problem, right? So, yes, they're tuned differently, and you can find those traits dealing with deep tech founder versus, any other chasing a transactional problem or a, slightly more achievable sort of a startup.
Thank you. And I want to share a story out of it. 2018, in my previous role, I used to be part of NASSCOM. So NASSCOM, we used to support a lot of deep tech companies. In 2018, I was roaming around the corners in city called Tokyo with one of the founder of a company called Skyroot. And they were raising $500,000 then. And trust me, I was just taking him to the different corporate houses, CVCs, without having any internal conviction, क्योंकि मुझे लगता था यार इसरो करता है ये काम, तुम 4 लोगों की टीम है, तुम क्या कर रहे हो? But because he is an IIT Kharagpur guy, NASSCOM has told me to support him, so I was doing everything without having an internal conviction. But today, when I look back, see the conviction. Where is Skyroot today? What they have achieved?
Right. If you have an opportunity to go to Hyderabad, go to the manufacturing place, see what they build. Same for some of the other space tech companies or other sectors. We have a portfolio company called Pixel. We invested in them when they were in 4th year of college. So these are 20-year-old, 21-year-old, and they said they want to build a constellation of nanosatellites powered with hyperspectral imagery. We asked them the question, has anyone ever done this before? They said no. We asked them the obvious question, why haven't people attempted to do this before for whatever reason? But now fast forward 6 years today, they're the first company in the world to have a constellation offering hyperspectral imagery. They're the first Indian private company to have a constellation of satellites. In 6 years, these young, talented founders, they've kind of created something which is first of a kind, not for India, for the world, right? So, and this is not one, there are many such examples doing the rounds, and there'll be 10x, 100x more which will come, thanks to the work you're doing and the others, in India. Yeah.
And that's why the body language of a deep tech founder is very different from anyone else. That's why I said, okay. So both of you have been investing in deep tech, and I know both of you for the last 10 years at least now. Harshdeep, you were talking about that now you are trying to make investments in deep tech. What challenges do you as a person see now when the deep tech ecosystem, I think, is fairly evolved, at least in the last 5 years? Significantly, I'll not call it fairly, but significantly evolved. What challenges still a VC like you still see in the ecosystem?
Well, I think while I'll kind of talk about a few problems, I'm pretty much sure that these problems are fairly common across the VC network as well. It's essentially, the biggest issue that we have is from a mindset perspective, we are used to investing in companies which have profit with purpose. And here it doesn't work that way, right? You have to invest for growth. You have to give a lot of patient capital much before that to let them build. And the challenges that I'm facing is every time I look at a deep tech company and there are different stages of TRLs, I mean, how do you give comfort to your own mind that this will work? And obviously, we have to rely on technical experts. Girish mentioned, we also at AWE Funds have domain specialists, which we call as our leadership council. So we have people from IBM, LinkedIn, large corporates in the US. We are a US India fund. So we have a lot of domain specialists residing in the US who help us with the technical due diligence. So while we may not fully understand within our core team the technicalities of that particular venture, we do rely on the domain specialization of our experts, and we do bring them on early on. I think that is very important because otherwise we've also seen a lot of time getting wasted in evaluating these companies, and at the end of it, we realize that this isn't deep tech at all. so those are the kind of concerns we have.
Thank you. Tanul, you, in fintech, what kind of emerging tech applications are you seeing? Because you are a very, very fintech-centric incubator.
We're seeing two kinds of shifts that we're seeing. I mean, obviously, if you're not dreaming AI, eating AI, then you're not doing it all right now. So that's one is a predominant use. The question there is how much of it is actually relevant. But a huge shift that we're seeing is we're seeing a range of tier two founders who are coming in and who are solving specifically for tier two regions. So for example, we just incubated somebody who's very focused on building a core banking services platform, but for cooperatives. And we're not talking cooperative banks or things, but these are like, think NGOs or smaller cooperatives like milk cooperatives, et cetera, who have the money but don't have the technology to build. So that's one aspect that we're seeing. But the other thing that we're seeing is, again, I'm seeing a lot of shift in the payment innovation system, right? We're seeing founders talking about biometric authentication. We're trying to see founders who are actually coming to us and saying, even if there is no network, we're going to try and solve for that challenge. So there's a lot of experimentation which is happening in that space. The way we're approaching it and saying it is, if it's not a real problem right now, then we're going to take a pause, because the question we ask is, why would somebody pay money for this, right? And that's how we're approaching the problem in this area.
Thank you. Nitin, what's your thesis in Venture Studio? What kind of company, what kind of ideas are you scouting for to support them in the journey?
So primarily there are 6 pillars, 6 core leaders who came together as a founding leaders, done this. So again, we specialize by building 3 categories in the internet's ecosystem. So travel tech I already talked about. We believe that B2B2C is a larger play, because in value-centric consumer ecosystem like India, the CAC is very important. Anybody who solved CAC is really doing good, whether it's B2B, B2C, and that's the segment we understand it very well. And the whole commerce, along with fintech, what she said, is backbone for Indian economy. Anybody who'll solve for tier 2, tier 3, the real Bharat will gonna win, because everybody mainly like to be in the center and solve for 4, 5, 6 top cities. That is only 10-15% of India. The major margin is on the long tail. And I believe there is a lot to be done, because in terms of solving the core use cases, there is still much more required, minus the technology, because a lot of people say tech is a differentiator. Trust me, tech is not a differentiator. Anybody who understands the use case, the customer cohort, the pain point, and then trying to solve it, is going to win and have an edge over it. For that, what he said, you need subject matter expert, you need somebody who understands that pain. Let's say, an analogy of a hospital. Without scanning, how can I treat him? I can't just give him Crocin, right, for every damn thing. I need to figure it out, that what is the problem, and then solve for it. So subject matter experts with consumer understanding is the differentiator. That's how we follow it. So 3-4 key themes we're gonna focus on.
Yeah, that's what I also believe, that for a product, tech might be the differentiator, but when it comes to business, I might be wrong, but I think GTM is the differentiator.
Dhanda boss ultimately, right? So if you're not able to create value, right? Let's say even patient capital, 5 years, 10 years, boss, ROI chahiye na uske baad.
Girish, what's your next bet? What are the next thing I want to hear from all of you is, what are the 3 bets preferred bets you want to take in the next 1 year?
So, we are actually very seriously evolving quantum technologies as one bet that we want to take, whether it is quantum encryption, quantum mechanic, entanglement, crypto cooling, whatever else it is. So that's one piece. Genomics is the other place where we are trying to build a thesis, including areas like drug discovery. We think with AI coming in, the path to market for newer drugs, personalized medication, etc., is going to get accelerated. So that's the second one. The third thing that we are looking for is essentially a cyber security play, which will make sure that whether you are in a classic compute or a quantum compute play, how do you manage data access, with even data at rest while the data is moving, it's amenable to being exposed. So those are broadly the kind of themes one is looking at. We are also parallelly starting to evaluate if we should look at defense as a theme, but still early days on that.
So, Ashish, my next question is to you. I mean, the same question to you, but before that, in case the audience have any question, please be ready with your question, because I think panels should always have at least 5 to 10 minutes reserved for Q&A, right? So, Ashish, the same question goes to you.
So I have a slightly different answer. I don't know what we will end up investing in 2026. We don't even have priorities or preferences or a thesis in our head. There was a time we used to do that, and over the years I've kind of realized that you start drinking your own Kool-Aid, you start imagining those ideas in your eyes, and running those companies as opposed to allowing the founders to do that. But to all the sectors which Girish spoke about, there is tremendous opportunity. Our job is to read, our job is to prepare a mind, to what Harsh said, that, how do I even respond to when a deep tech founder pitches to us? And we need to be ready, so we need to know about quantum, we need to know about cybersecurity, we need to know about semiconductors, we need to be well aware. And that gives us an opportunity or a perspective to assess the situation you're in, right? So that's the way I am, right? But if you would ask me the sectors I would like for in 2026 to kind of pick up momentum, cybersecurity is clearly one, with more and more increased use of AI, and therefore data freely flowing just seamlessly, right? Nobody cares about data anymore. I think that's going to be a very, very important layer. And the second is healthcare. Healthcare as a sector, for whatever reason, we haven't seen any winners, and I think be it AI-led drug discovery, be it diagnostics, be it, longevity, and so on and so forth, I would like that team to kind of pick up stage, yeah. And or data centers in space, why not?
Yeah. So experiential travel for sure. The second would be something which gives the power back to the customer on his eyeballs, his privacy, his data. So why should I pay Amazon Prime? Rather, if I'm watching, I should get some payout. Something on that sort which creates value. Again, Indian core. And the third would definitely value chain, roti kapda makan, right? So agri-tech, anything which can produce yield, can cut middlemen. I believe there is a large play. We have cracked the logistics, but the cold storage and the core agri-tech is still a lot to be done.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to silo myself as well with any three specific segments. My answer would be an amalgamation of all the points that the gentleman made. So at AWE Funds, we care about three things. We care about our health, we care about our planet, We care about technology which improves both health and planet. So obviously health is part of what we kind of explore on a daily basis. Climate is big on the agenda, and we're talking about conventional things, air, water, energy. It's very difficult to pinpoint on specific aspects of it. Going back to what was discussed, we really like backing the founder first and the conviction of the idea that the founder has. Once we have that in place, I think we see the inefficiencies in the segment and we capture that segment and we bet on that segment. I think that's the way we think of it. We don't want to silo ourselves with that specific segment and learn about it. We do it opportunistically, frankly speaking. But since you're kind of pushing us to say a few things, then I would say robotics, data centers, they're pretty much in our agenda and something that we look at. Use cases are in agri, in logistics, in marine, very interesting spaces to be in.
I'm just going back, adding what he said to my answer.
So it's been hard for us to define fintech or techfin. I usually deglamorize and say any technology that solves financial ops. So we've been very open, but a couple of sectors that we're excited about is insurance in India. We think insurance and insurtech has still not been touched upon. There's a lot that can and needs to be done in that space. Fraud, risk, and compliance we see as something that's going to really off-take. Because everyone's going digital. India has a tendency to skip generations. We moved with very little landlines to mobile phone in everyone's hands. So we feel that that puts the larger population in a very vulnerable space. So anyone who's solving for that, we're excited about that. And the third thing that sort of we're excited about is people who are going to look at ethical use of AI in financial space, because I think that's going to be very, very critical even to keep the sector and the growth together. So those are the three that we're excited about.
I'm surprised none of you actually mentioned energy sector.
That's what I was saying. So two sectors that I missed out.
I said land, air, and energy.
One was hydrogen. So green, blue was one that came to my mind after I stopped speaking. And there was one more which I again forgot.
Air, water, and energy. I said that.
Okay. You have questions? Yeah, please. I can give you the mic. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rohit Nagpal. So we have a product in productivity and workplace improvement. So question to all of you was, you were talking about deep tech and how, and the tech is evolving very, very fast. So you said that we can do dhanda, if you have an SME. But there are other SMEs as well. And if you develop a product, and since the technology is evolving so fast, if something has been developed in 2 years, can be developed in 6 months. And specifically in deep tech, if you do something in AI, in 2 years, I'm sure it can be done in less than 6 months after 2 years. So when you are investing, how do you look at this phenomenon? Because you also want to ensure that your investment is safe. And what is that kind of, suggestions or tips that you would like to give founders so that they can also protect themselves and their products? Thank you.
I'll just start and others can chime in. I think the first thing I want to say is that technology is never the moat, right? So, technology is the starting point that's allowing you to kind of put a product in the hands of your customers or clients, right? The real differentiation of the moat of any business is, be it GTM, be it distribution, be it the quality of the problem that you're solving for. What we're trying to assess when we're investing in companies is that how do we make sure our founders get a head start? If they get 1 year advantage, 2 year advantage, 3 year advantage over others, the whole idea is to get to maintain that leadership. If you're able to maintain that leadership, you'll open newer markets, you will go deeper with your existing clients and therefore build a solid business, right? There's nothing in the world that your team is doing which others can't. They can, I'm sure. But is that their priority? We don't know. you know, do they have the right resources, the mindset to kind of do it in the manner that you can do it? We don't know, right? The idea is to kind of take that opportunity, make use of it, keep building, keep building, keep building, and, you know, delivering to the best of your capabilities. Yeah.
So for us, intellectual property is extremely important. You know, today across the 35 active companies we have in the portfolio, we would have about 110 odd patents filed and granted. You know, so that's how sharply we are focused on intellectual property. So if you're creating something, does the law allow you to protect that as your intellectual property? Is something that one should look at. And specifically in the software world, it is not easy to do, and therefore some element of hardware needs to be brought in. But that's a good way to, you know, protect what you're doing.
Don't want to repeat. Very well made points. What I would say is that further to what Ashish mentioned, it's about the first mover advantage. It's about opening up doors for your portfolio company in the manner you envisioned and execute on it. So if you feel that they need help on go-to-market, then you open those doors for them. If you believe that they need engineering support, then you need to open doors for them. So those are the things in which you can be better than others. From a deal structure perspective, since we are kind of also very flexible in terms of our bite size, we start at 1 crore onwards. We try to kind of do it in a manner that milestones are achieved and then you release the next round of funding. So that way you hedge your risk from a deal structure perspective. So you can do 1 and then you can do 4 if there's a certification or a regulatory clearance and likes of it. So if you've reached and advanced in certain TRL levels, then obviously the financial capital becomes more available to you, and therefore you back the winners, right? So that's pretty much it.
So I'm Dolly Bazin. This question is addressed to Nitin. Kudos to you to really start a venture studio. I've been trying to do that for some time and I haven't had the courage to do it, especially in India, because the offtake, people don't understand it very well. I would like to know if sustainable tourism is somewhere in your anvil. Are you looking at sustainable tourism? Because that's something that's going to be one of the major areas in terms of sustainability. That's the focus of my venture studio that I plan to set up. If sustainable tourism has a place in your school of thoughts. And the second is, how are you really looking at offsetting the kind of carbon footprint that you have in travel and tourism, especially when the world is really, transport is one of the major areas of the negative impact on the environment. So sustainable tourism offers an opportunity, but is there somebody working on, and those are the startups that I've been really mentoring and trying to see how we could really offset.
So first of all, thanks for the wishes and support, and we know each other from long. So most welcome to come and join hands, absolutely. You know that the travel and tourism is the core we own as a team, and it's pretty new, you know, 30, 45 days, and we already got a seed backer. We got close to 20 odd CR for a venture studio to have the lights on for 2 years. We have not picked the micro themes, but absolutely, whether it's medical tourism, whether it's religious tourism or sustainable tourism, these are some of the themes, but we have not actually pinned down. It's a great idea and it's a noble idea if somebody can crack and do it and support it at scale.
Incidentally, in 2006, I won an international award for this sustainable tourism from MasterCard, top 20 women innovators in travel and tourism.
Fantastic.
So that's something that I want to really pursue as a business now. It hasn't been a business. I was just building the building blocks for the entire country, and I take a lot of pride that most of my work has been awarded internationally. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shikha. I'm a microbiologist, and this question is for Girish. I'm very happy to know, Girish, that you said you want to fund vaccine development. So that is something we don't hear often. I'm curious, which aspect are you thinking of funding? Because it's from lab to manufacturing, preclinical, clinical. It's a long-drawn process, so would appreciate your thoughts on it. Thank you.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. It sometimes takes 8, 10 years for some of these molecules to come out and be commercialized. We're still evaluating the sector, the segment. Most likely, we will zero down to something which will be just about ready to get into clinical trials. Is where we are thinking right now, but it can evolve. As I said, still early days. Before that, the risk is a bit too much, and beyond that, the valuations are just way out of whack. So that's the kind of sweet spot we will probably end up doing.
Last question, huh? One last question.
Hi, this question is to Nitin actually. So I'm Bubbly, I'm co-founder of an OTA, Foodpago. So Nitin, since you have experience in investing in the OTAs, wanted to know what would be your advice, what should we avoid in terms of tourism, like a lot of people, like it's crowded we see, so is there any advice?
Don't try to acquire the customer only on discounting, because somebody else on the second time gonna offer more discounts who will have a deeper pockets, and you will not have any business. And I'm telling you, if you are not winning on the customer experience, travel is not the category you should focus on.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Hi sir, I'm Abhinandan Jain. I'm volunteering here. Actually, I'm from CVS, Delhi University, pursuing marketing management. Sir, actually, मैं पूछ रहा था कि 11th, 12th and now pursuing commerce. तो टेक का मुझे इतना आइडिया नहीं है. तो अगर इन केस इन फ्यूचर मैं कभी किसी स्टार्टअप का पार्ट बनता हूँ, स्टार्टअप करता हूँ, तो टेक कितना इम्पोर्टेंट है?
इसका आंसर मैं देना चाहूँगा. तो यार टेक बहुत important है. Let me be very honest, right? But at the same time, this is not the only thing. I'm a dental surgeon by education, and I'm operating one of the largest deep tech community in the country today.
Just to add, I'm a chartered accountant.
Ditto.
Investing in deep tech companies. So, here you go. नहीं, but
Commerce background.
Commerce background.
Commerce background, MBA.
पर अगर आप हम सबसे पूछोगे कि हाउ डिड वी गेट ओरिएंटेड टू डीप टेक, आपको दिखेगा कहीं पर दोस्ती है, कहीं पर नेटवर्क है, कहीं पर को फाउंडर है, एंड वही ढूंढना है, इंटेंट है, वही आपको ढूंढना है, सीखने का इंटेंट है. दैट्स हाउ यू कैन गेट बेटर इन द गेम. इट्स नॉट द डिग्री दैट काउंट्स, इट्स द हंगर यू कैरी, एंड this but being aware of technology, being in it, that's fundamentally most important today. Yeah.
So, इस रूम में कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री स्किल ढूंढ लो जिसको टेक आता हो.
ये important है. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so
guys,
much,
thank
all the panelists.